Hi, Dr. Rudy Cashman. Welcome to the Rudy's War on Diabetes. I have a special guest today. His name is Elon. Say hi. Hello, folks. Glad to be here with Dr. Cashman, my friend. I love him, you know. Okay. And you see a cover of a book I wrote. I'm not here selling books, but I want to be very clear to you. I have declared war on diabetes. Why is that? Because it's a war that could be won. Yes, Elon, it can be won? Yay! Wouldn't that be wonderful? It's an epidemic, a pandemic, but now it's across the world. The nation of India was now the largest country in the world. It happened recently. 1.5 billion people. They have a huge number of diabetics. They're used to eating rice, but now they're eating processed food on top of that, and the nation is going like this. And will you believe this? And this wonderful news. What's the good news, Dr. Cashman? Is that they called me up. They wanted to use these TV shows, which I do every couple of weeks on diabetes, a half hour. They're all on YouTube. They go to YouTube in 10 days. So will this show. You mean I can go to YouTube and I can go to YouTube and read these shows? Yes, I can. Wonderful, Dr. Cashman. But they wanted to use my YouTube shows to translate it into other dialects and languages, and have the people use their phone and iPads and get the information and how to get rid of their diabetes. Can be done. 4 to 8 weeks, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks. Yes. Just listen to me and I explain to you. And this information has been known for a long time. Our medical community, to me, it's not doing its job. They're making too much money off the sick people. I've been to all the hospitals. I know. I've been there. I don't look back, though. I'm looking forward. And this wonderful Elon, oh, Dr. Cashman, I'd sure like to help you. You notice that he lost his teeth because he ate too much sugar. Yeah. Look at Queen Elizabeth, a picture of her, 1700 or so, no teeth, or you see one black tooth. She ate sugar cubes all the time, and she lost her teeth, just like you, Elon. Oh, I did it. Yes, Elon, you did it. You did it. Well, I will try to do better in the future and listen to you, Dr. Cashman. Okay. So information on this was really published way back in the last century. Yes, they did studies, and a gentleman who did it, a doctor who did it, Joseph Kraft, K-R-A-F-T, and he wrote a book. I bought 100 copies. I gave them all away, and I can't seem to find the last one. But you can still see him on YouTube, Joseph Kraft, K-R-A-F-T, and he's 92 years old at that time. He says, I'll be looking down upon you for many decades and maybe centuries before the medical community will tell you the truth, that diabetes is preventable, the majority irreversible, 90% of the time. And let's review the science. Wow, Dr. Cashman, I'd love to hear about it. That makes me happy. Okay, so I have with me here and describing the science, understanding Joseph Kraft's diabetes in situ. That means at the very beginning, if you ran the right test, you could kill it right there, not get the 30, 40 diseases diabetes cause. Before I start on Kraft's work, let's review a little bit what diseases are from diabetes, which are avoidable. The good news is, we have good news today, okay? And most of Alzheimer's disease, they even call it type 3 diabetes. Yes, get rid of your diabetes, you don't get ALZ. Yes. 80% at least of memory loss, especially in older age, is due to diabetes. Get your diabetes, you don't get ALZ. The science is there. So dementia, memory loss, strokes, dental disease. I spend a little extra time on that because that's huge, because the bacteria that are there because you're eating too many sugary foods are on your gums and are destroying your teeth and ulcers and lose your dentition and your dentin, and they start living in there, and those bacteria will then affect your brain and your gut and cause tremendous health changes. If you brush your teeth, I highly recommend brush your teeth twice a day and then floss them at least. I didn't know to brush my teeth till I was in college. My parents never told me. They used to teach it in the schools. I don't know why they stopped, but that was extremely important. Yeah, I remember going to school and we learned a lot about it, but then my parents didn't enforce it, and I didn't seem to pick up the right habit, and I didn't brush my teeth till I was in college, when my fraternity brother said, "Hey, we got girls coming in tonight, and you need to brush your teeth, Rudy." I already had lost a couple of teeth. Fortunately, I then started brushing them and flossing them. I learned a lot about it, and at my age 39, for the 40th time, I still got a nice smile. Just a few missing teeth. They've been replaced, and there's risk to that. Heart disease, lung disease, amputations, dislocations, increased rates of cancer, skin disease. I can go on and on. Renal failure, all complications of diabetes. So I don't want you to have it. And if you follow what I say today, you won't have it. And you can look at this show and other shows. So I want you to know, and I could go on and on. Nerve damage is especially due to diabetes, neuropathy, numbness. So Dr. Kraft described Joseph Kraft, diabetes in situ. Remember I said at the earliest change in the cell, it's called in situ, but if you stop it there, the disease never happens. So let me read you a little bit. And they should be testing starting age 2 or 3, every child, every adult with glucose tolerance tests, blood sugars, and serum insulins. That's my point. Serum insulins are elevated 10 to 15 years, while changes actually are occurring in your body and before your blood sugar is ever elevated. Joseph Kraft is a medical doctor. He was a pathologist. Okay, he studied dead bodies. Medical doctor who measured over 14,000 oral glucose tolerance, where you swallow a number of grams of sugar, usually 75 to 100 grams of sugar, and then they check your blood sugar fasting 1 hour, 2 hours. He did it for 5 hours, but he checked the serum insulins and the blood sugars. That was the important point in this lifetime. This is a standard test to measure the blood glucose response to a standardized amount of glucose over 2 hours. That's the way we do it, but he did it 5 hours. The difference is that they measured over 5 hours and included blood insulins. Okay, a summary of his work is here, and Professor Grant also reviews it nicely here. Ira Cummings, the Fat Emperor, read his books, also reviewed it, okay? And I'll show you a picture here, and I have with me Elon. What do you think? Can you read that? While you're explaining to me, Dr. Cashman, I begin to understand what you're talking about, okay? And so have a look at this, and you get a copy of these papers from me, or like I said, you can go online, Amazon, and buy a digital copy. Maybe you can find this book as a used book. Yeah, that'd be the way to do it. So the insulin response patterns, and he has them on there. He has 5 patterns, but the patterns 2 to 4, where the insulin level remains up after swallowing sugar, but the blood sugar is normal. You're catching diabetes in its earliest stages. And if you did something about it, like eat the right food, and it's not just the overweight people who are eating the wrong food, it's the trophies, thin on the outside, but fat in the liver and pancreas, fat on the inside, who have diabetes. 30% of normal weight people can have diabetes. Did you know that, Elon? No, I did not know that, Dr. Cashman. Yeah. So you see why I think insulin testing is normal. Incidentally, mine at age 39 for the 40th time is 0.7. That's my serum insulin. And I've shown these lab results to the people on TV before. Look at some of my old shows. So what Dr. Kraft had discovered is that you can make the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes much earlier than the standard oral glucose tolerance test by measuring insulin. That's critical. That's critical. Get the insulin test. Get the insulin test. Get the insulin test. Have it done to your children. Yes, they can be pre-diabetic, and if the insulin is elevated and even your sugar is normal, the changes of vascular disease, kidney disease, are already occurring in their body. They proved that by doing autopsies on Vietnamese, Korean, and American soldiers, all of normal weight. They found the Americans were full of vascular disease. Yes, they were normal weight, but you betcha if you had done an insulin test, you'd realize they were diabetics. That's my point, okay? So to get those tests. But the cell is overfilled with glucose, not empty, so there's no reduction in the blood sugar, okay? So this is very important. And if you want a copy of this whole thing, just let me know. I'll get it to you. I'm going to have multiple copies made. I'll be in Warsaw, Indiana on the 10th, on a Saturday, in a classroom attached to Lutheran Hospital. I'll have extra copies there. If you're in that area, I'll get you more copies. Or call me or something. So Mark Hyman wrote about it too. So it's not just Kraft. Mark Hyman, very famous blood sugar solutions, very famous. I don't think you have read any of his books. Have you, Elon? No, I have not, Dr. Cashman, but I will have a look. I'll look at his website too. And this is Mark Hyman. One test your doctor isn't doing that could save your life. Mm-hmm. Save your life and add 20, 30 years of disease-free to your life so you can be 100 and play pickleball with me. Okay. And insulin resistance doesn't happen overnight, but most of our diet includes empty calories and abundance of quickly absorbed sugars, liquid calories, and carbohydrates like bread, pasta, rice, potatoes. Your cells slowly become resistant to the effects of insulin. Your body increasingly demands more insulin to do the same job of keeping your blood sugar even. Eventually, your cells become resistant to insulin, and resulting in insulin resistance, and your blood sugar goes up, and now they say you're diabetic. Yes, but a lot of changes have occurred in your body already because you didn't get a serum insulin. You understand it now? Okay. If not, I'll try to get this paper to you. And it's a shame that the medical profession is not telling you this. I think that they are surrounded the industry and you. So I wrote another book, Prevention is the Cure. Prevent the disease. And I think it's a failure of public health, school lunch. What do they have for breakfast today in the school lunch program? Cinnamon buns. Cinnamon buns, yes, Elon, cinnamon buns. Yeah, and the industry has the school programs surrounded. Sugar industry, House and Senate lobbyists, poor nutrition teaching, processed foods, cows, milk, hospital system, lack of prevention, medical school, lack of nutrition teaching, lack of preventative teaching. I went to medical school. They spent very little time teaching us what proper nutrition is. So this is on Amazon. Prevention is the cure. But remember, I declared war on diabetes. I declared war. I want to get rid of this disease. So what do you do? Suppose you get diagnosed. And another great book you could read, Good Pills and Needles, which describes in detail medications and the diabetes, and it's the diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and a 90-day cure by Tom Jelinek. Very in layman's language, excellent book to read. Even talks about the drugs, metformin and all these other medications. Metformin tells the cell wall to get us hungry, and now wants sugar to come in, but the sugar's still in the cell. You still got diabetes. I want to get rid of diabetes. That's what I'm working at. And so if you're having, and remember, not all people that are overweight have diabetes. Yeah, not all people. But again, it's not the look that counts, it's your blood tests. I want to know what your insulin level is, what your blood sugar level is. Then I'll know if you have it or not. Remember, 20-30% of people of normal weight, the trophy is thin on the outside, fat on the inside, fat in their pancreas, which prevents insulin from being secreted, and the liver are diabetic too. Yeah, so it's the bottom line are the tests. I want to know what your tests are. Suppose you are overweight. I mean, are you diabetic? But not guaranteed. I want to know what your tests show, Elon. Okay. Have you had a recent blood test, Elon? No. I said, well, Elon, I want you to get tested. Just by looking at you, and I see that you have no teeth, and you may have lost them from sugar, or maybe it's just you were too young, and they haven't been replaced yet. But you know, you're 10 years old. Odds are that it's the sugar that's doing. Oh, Dr. Cashman, I'll do something about it. And a very good book is Simply Keto. Keto. What does that mean? Ketones are small molecules made by the liver, smaller than blood sugar, which are very high energy. Now, how does that affect us? It affects us if we were to eat, for example, a 60-70% good fat diet. What are good fats? Guacamole, olives, for example. You can find lists of these foods in this book I'm going to show you, Simply Keto. So the ketones are energy molecules, okay, that affect ATP, your energy molecule. And if you're eating foods that don't have much sugar in them, have good fats in them, and I told you already what are good fats, the blood sugar level will drop down because you're not using glucose, you're using good fats, ketones. Your blood sugar goes down, your insulin level goes down, your fat cells open up, the fat goes to the liver, and is converted there to ketones, okay? And there's basically 3 different types, but BHP is the best one, the most common, best known one, very small molecules, and you were to eat, and the brain loves them, your liver loves them, your kidney loves them, so they are energy molecules. Your brain does not just work on sugar. It can work on ketones too, and ketones don't need insulin to get into the cell. They just pass through the cell wall. Mm-hmm. There's a book called Simply Keto by Susan Ryan, a book I highly recommend. It's a little bit heavy, so okay. And brand new, I noticed it costs $35. Okay, but I did notice on Amazon books that you can buy used, and this is a used copy. Looks like it's brand new, $5. So when I was giving a lecture to about 20 church members, almost 100% were a bit overweight. Almost all had diabetes, and the minister was kind enough to arrange me to come and give a lecture. She cared about them. She herself had followed my advice and looked like a movie star, okay, at a church close to St. Francis there. And I was looking at the audience, and I realized most of them had a bit of a weight problem, and not being judgmental, but I wanted to get rid of their diabetes. And I thought, you know, if they were to read this book, Simply Keto by Susan Ryan, who used to weigh 120 pounds more, now she's this beautiful lady, okay, Simply Keto, and she, in the first 66 pages, she explains how about the ketones. 66 pages. Pictures tells you what good fats are. Remember I said 50, 70% good fats, 20% protein, and the rest of vegetables and berries. The vegetables and fruits are full of sugar. But there are exceptions. Some are lower sugar than others. But you need to know the science of that, and she explains it. And then, in the rest of the book, she has pictures of her breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you might want to eat, and on every page, the total number of calories, the total amount of protein, sugar, fat, calculated. Yeah, so it's a great, great book. And Elon, you've not read it yet, right? No, Dr. Cashman, but I want you to read this book, okay? I'll give you one of these used copies. Thank you, Dr. Cashman. I love you. And now, if you want to speed up the rate of getting rid of diabetes, is to do some fasting. I do that. I have no reason to do it. I weigh 133 pounds this morning. No reason to do it, but your body secretes about 5 hormones in the morning. Your growth hormone, and it raises the blood sugar. Your bowel makes CCK. Your ghrelin that stimulates appetite, and the stomach goes down. And a lot of hormones are secreted, which keep your blood sugar like this. You're not hungry in the morning. I don't eat till noon or so. Some days at 10, some days at 12. I even play pickleball or take a walk, and I feel great because that stimulates hormones too. When I'm playing pickleball, I won and I'm feeling optimistic and I feel good. That raises blood sugar too. So when I get home at noon, I'm not hungry at all. You see the point? Your appetite went down. These new GLP-1 hormones you can take and inject yourself, they kind of turn your appetite off too, but you got to keep on taking them, taking them. There are other side effects. They have good parts, bad parts. I didn't say not to take them, but this is a lot easier. Look, you end up on no drugs, no insulin. And that's the main point. When you take insulin, which pushes sugar into the cell to drop your blood sugar drops, but the cells still get sugar in it. And if there's too much of it, it'll turn to fat in the liver. And that'll affect their pancreas, and they will secrete less insulin yet. So I think to follow the correct way of eating, that's the main part. And if you do fasting, you get rid of your diabetes twice as fast. Twice as fast, Dr. Cashman? Yes, twice as fast. No diabetes, no pills, save all kind of money, probably live to be 100, feeling good and in good health. What good does it be to live to old age if your legs have been amputated? I mean, that's good, but it's a lot greater to still have the legs. I've been to churches, for example, where 3 funerals I've been to, all the people had their legs amputated from diabetes. Yes, and it's more common in certain ethnic and racial groups, but it's not in their genetic structure. it's a type of food they are eating. And I love to bring them to the table, and I'm here saying it to make them better. Don't accept diabetes. Do something about it. One of the leaders that of the churches that I was talking about has said, Rudy, I respect diabetes. I take the pills and shots. Don't respect diabetes. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Within a month, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have to take your shots. You wouldn't need to take the pills. You'll get a lot healthier. You'll look better. The first fat that leaves you is the face, then the neck, and then the rest of the body. The good news is, too, is that if you've been diabetic 20, 30 years, okay, and you've been taking insulin and, or metformin or different drugs, if you have this weight loss, which you will if you change your pattern of eating, that once the fat leaves the liver, leaves the pancreas, you may be of normal weight, but you still got fat in the liver and the pancreas, and you're still diabetic. But once the fat, the beta cells in the pancreas can wake up and secrete insulin again. Yes, yes, yes. And that's been scientifically proven. So don't give up. If you've been diabetic for years, you can get rid of it and live to be 100 and be in good health. We're letting, in this country, we're letting people have this 30, 40 diseases. 30, 40 diseases, I'll catch you in the ass. Renal disease, liver disease, dementia, skin diseases, amputations, dislocations, bad arthritis in the knees and hips, and numbness and paralyzed feet from diabetes, diabetic neuropathy. It affects, blood sugars affect their neurologic system a great deal. A lot of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. A lot of these diseases are related to having diabetes and sugar elevation. They can be prevented. They can be prevented, Dr. Kessler. Yes, that's what I'm all about. And it's not hard. It's not hard. So read some of the things that I presented to you. I've declared war on diabetes. I don't want you to have it. I want you to live to be 100 and tap dance, and play pickleball, sing songs with me. Remember, I'm 39 for the 48th time. You're 39 for the 48th time. Yes, Elon. Yes. And you got a long way to go to get that. And I hope your teeth grow back. And I think they will. They will. Get rid of your diabetes. You can go onto YouTube, incidentally, Facebook, and put in YouTube Rudy Cashman, Facebook Rudy Cashman. Now I'm starting to podcast. Instagram, you can get a lot more information because I'm about wellness. After all, I'm a doctor. You are a doctor, Dr. Cashman, and I love what you're doing. And pretty soon, Elon, you'll be tap dancing and playing pickleball with me. Hey, I would love that, Dr. Cashman. Thanks for watching the show, and we will see you next time. But go to YouTube. You can see a lot of these shows. Rudy Cashman, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube. And you can watch this. You want to gain information. You want to get rid of these illnesses. Thanks so much. See you again. Elon, you're going to go home with me and have dinner? Yes, I will, Dr. Cashman. Thank you. Bye.